Karen Black was a well-respected actress, song artist, and writer who starred in numerous well-received films. After roles in The Prime Time and You're a Big Boy Now, her career really took off as the acid-tripping prostitute in Easy Rider. After a slew of major roles in big-budget films, she would later tail off into more horror roles in the mid-70s and 80s. And thus, we have the Trilogy of Terror, a project that really glistens with her star power. Trilogy of Terror was a made-for-TV horror anthology film directed by Dan Curtis and written by William F. Nolan. This was way before my generation, so I'm fortunate that my hipster parents were nice enough to show me this special at a young age. Each film segment is about 20 to 25 minutes in length and is titled after the name of the character that Karen Black plays. Story 1, Julie, is about a student named Chad who has the hots for his English teacher, Julie Eldridge, a hard-working recluse. Very quickly, we start entering his twisted fantasies about taking advantage of her, much to the disgust of his friend Eddie, who sees no point in getting involved with teachers. After spending a night watching her undress, Chad finally works up the effort to ask her out on a date, to which she finally says yes after much hesitation. While at the drive-in theater, Chad drugs Julie's drink, knocking her out cold. He then takes her to a motel where he registers them as Mr. and Mrs. Jonathan Harker, most likely a reference to the character from Dracula. What follows is Chad taking some pictures of Julie while she rests in sexual and stimulating positions. The next day, it's all a blur to Julie until he blackmails her to meet his selfish needs with the photographs he developed in his dark room. The big reveal by the end, if that's what you want to call it, feels a little by the book and isn't very surprising. This story might be the weakest of the three and doesn't quite nail it with the horror category, veering more towards sleaze and mystery. Fun fact though, the guy playing Chad was actually Karen Black's husband at the time, Robert Burton. His involvement with the production is what got Black to portray all the characters, as she initially refused to be of any part of it. So moving on to story 2, this time called Millicent and Therese, we follow the lives of the two sisters who were rivals from the start. Millicent is the brunette with a very bottled up attitude. She's treated more as the main character of the story and shares a pretty extensive scene with a guy named Mr. Anmar, who's having an implied relationship with the outgoing and wildly seductive Therese. Millicent convinces the guy that Therese is pure evil and was using Mr. Anmar for her selfish reasons. After a while, he believes her. But now Millicent has a scheme in the works. She gives their family doctor a call to meet with her about Therese's behavior. Coincidentally, Therese greets him at the door instead. She spends the whole time trying to seduce the doctor and gossip about Millicent, who may or may not be at home. As the story progresses, we learn that Millicent wants to officially kill off her horrid sister, even if it means using Therese's books on witchcraft and voodoo.
Parings from Therese's long, painted nails. Strands from her lovely blonde hair. The rhinestone buttons from her most lewdly seductive dress. And then, at last, I had all that was required.
Millicent's change of mood worries the doctor, so he returns to check up on them, only to find Therese's dead body lying on the floor of her bedroom, right next to a stabbed voodoo doll. The last couple of minutes throw you off guard with another twist, and while not especially great and rather predictable, this story was a bit more interesting than the first, and most of that goes towards Karen Black's performances as the two sisters. She brings a bit of humanity to the Millicent character, and plenty of free spirit to Therese. But now we're getting down to business with story 3. If there's any indication as to why people would remember the Trilogy of Terror, it's because this story, Amelia, stuck with most people, including myself. While the last two stories played like mysteries, this one is pure terrorizing horror at its finest. It opens to a young woman named Amelia who returns home with a sketchy box where inside lies a creepy looking Zuni fetish doll named He Who Kills, according to the scroll that comes with it.
Boy, are you ugly.
Intended as a gift for her boyfriend, we also discover that the doll has a golden chain wrapped around it, containing the spirit of an actual Zuni warrior. All of this is established over a phone conversation with Amelia's overbearing mother, whom we never see nor hear. It's pretty much a one-person show from start to finish, and Karen Black really carries this segment, keeping the viewer invested. I have to say, I really love the build-up surrounding this doll. The second the chain falls off, you know something bad is going to go down. Much like Chucky from Child's Play, you don't see what the Zuni doll is capable of immediately. It takes its time, giving the viewer shadowy movements and unsettling sounds to pull them in. And then BAM! There it is, ready to kill. The last 15 minutes takes Amelia on the flight of her life. Once in a while, she is able to outsmart the little guy, but he always finds a way out of her traps. Keep in mind, this is a 1975 TV special, and I think they really spoiled us with the effects and camera work here. Lots of good fun. I'm not going to give away the ending because I do highly recommend you watch this, if just for the third story alone. You won't be disappointed. Karen Black sadly died of periampulary cancer last year, but the amazing highlights of her career and the joy and inspiration she spread to actors and audiences alike won't ever be forgotten. There was a special DVD release in 2006 with a couple features, and now we're just waiting for that Blu-ray release. I mean, come on, Zombie Holocaust got a Blu-ray release, but no Trilogy of Terror yet? Let's get on top of that, guys. Anyways, I hope you all have a nice happy Halloween, you spooky spooksters.